If I'm thinking about muscular development, we got to take muscles on stretch and we got to take muscles on contraction, right? So where do I want to train my row? A row is a row. Whether that row is upper back, whether that row is mid back, or whether that row is trying to find the bottom of my lats. A row is a row. So what does that mean? In order for me to train my back, I have to engage my back. So then I have to find rotation to get my lats turned on. Otherwise, I'm not training those muscles. Right? So I find a little rotation. Now, the goal again, does that human have enough range of motion in their shoulder blades and their upper back to find extension and protraction? There's my stretch, there's my contraction. So I want to be able to stretch the muscle, contract the muscle. If I have somebody stuck here, like we were talking about compression, they're stuck. Their expansion or their extension, their stretch is going to look like this. It's going over their neck, right? So then, no, time out. We're not in the lats anymore. So don't worry about the stretch. You don't own a stretch. And I think that's okay to say to somebody is find our lats and protract. I am, coach. Okay, well then we know we don't own a stretch. You don't have that right now. So let's go single arm dumbbell and let's keep your back as healthy as possible because it's already compressed, right? We know it's stuck because it won't go forward. So it's stuck there. So would we work both arms at once and create more compression? No, take them to a single. And then they'll find some range of motion in their shoulder blades. But my goal is that those back muscles are stretching and contracting. What part of my back I want to work on should directly correlate to my pulling angle. If I'm pulling high, probably a lot of upper back. If I start to pull lower into the trunk, maybe more like belly button, going to be a lot more in the back. I start to pull down towards my hip pockets, you're going to feel a lot down through here. So that angle, just like on your bench press, where that angle lives is going to help bias different muscles. But what we always want is rotation to find the lat. That's a principle. If I don't find the back, it's not going to get developed. And then stretch as much as you can and find as much contraction as you can. Having some tools to help somebody who's stuck in a position would be beneficial, right? So if they're stuck in that stuck in that compression, then maybe they don't have as much stretch as somebody who's got a healthier upper back, right? Because their stretch will be not going around the rib cage, but over the rib cage. And that's out of the lat, so we know that's not beneficial. Let's stop doing that. And let's just stay in the lats and go as far as you can. I believe that a single arm row is better than a two arm row for a healthy upper back. Why? Because then I can have separate movement on my scapulas. So somebody who's learning to do a bent over row, in my opinion, should probably start at a 3-point row, especially who's somebody's very compressed. Because what happens is I can push hard in the muscle that on the side that I'm not pulling with. So if you look at my back, and let's say I'm stuck here, okay? I'm stuck in compression. If I'm rowing, I'm getting some lat movement, but I'm not getting any stretch, right? I'm stuck like it. But if I could take and have opposing forces, okay? So let's say I push one, push. Look what I just did. I gave myself some room between my shoulder blades. And then I could probably find more contraction and protraction because I got one of them out of the way. So if I have somebody super compressed and everything's going up over their neck all the time, I'll put them in a 3-point row. 3-point, 1-point, 2-point, 3-point. Right, that's what we call a 3-point row. I got a 3-point row here. I pushed hard into that one. What did I do? I just made room in my back. If I was stuck back here, I'm stuck. But if I push here, then I gave myself room. And then I can find that extension and compression we want by just taking one of the scapulas and getting rid of it. And you got rid of it by pushing it out of the way.
Can you talk about the end range of the pull too, as it relates to going too far,
yeah.
And getting that same sort of compensation?
Something I think we should address, and I'm going to take it one step prior to what Emily was saying. Something I think us coaches need to address is understanding what the goal behind the exercise is. So if it's a row, the goal is to develop the back. So let's say it's a bent over single arm row. Bent over, boop, single arm. Okay. Goal is back. Well, I can row to a point where I stay in my lat, right? And I can row to a point where I come out of my lat. But the goal is to develop the tissue that we're working on, right? So if we're working on a row, the goal is to develop the back tissues. If I'm pulling towards my belly button, that would be lats. So for simple conversation, we're doing a bent over row for our lats, okay? So if I'm doing a bent over row, whether it's two or single, it's for my lats. So I'm finding the stretch and I'm finding as much compression as I can, right? Now, could I go further? Yes. Am I still in my lats? No. Okay, so why would we have pulled so far that we come out of our lats? Because they don't know any better. So what we as coaches need to do is start to address what muscle are we trying to develop, and then how do you learn to stay in that muscle? Because when you come out of that muscle, it was a waste of time. So, find lat connection. Stay in lat connection. Extend as far as you can, still in lat tension. So I'm still wound down, lat still on. Find as much row as you can, still in lat tension. So what does that look like? That looks like retraction of shoulder blades, right? So as I rode, what do we see? We see the lats start to pull and the shoulder blades start to come back.
Can I
in a fluid motion.
Can I point something out
Yep.
to these guys? Okay, come do your row. Okay, where would you stop your elbow when you pull back? Bring your elbow back with you. There you go. About right there, right? Okay, he still can get more contraction through the rhomboids and the middle traps through here, right? Without bringing the elbow further back. So if the elbow starts to come further back, then it goes up into these upper traps, right? And your neck muscles, and you've lost all of that sort of like middle back area. So the elbow can come back to a certain point, and then you can get a little bit more mind to muscle connection through an extra squeeze through this area without movement of the elbow. So when you're working individually with people, you might have to cue them in that way, give them some, if appropriate, give them some tactile on the back and teach them that we're trying to get that extra activation through the mind to muscle connection, not the elbow coming back to achieve that extra contraction.
So just simply by just making sure that they can feel that, like, or you can show them yourself so you can feel this and they can touch you so you can feel
Absolutely, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now go up over your neck. No pinch it.
No.
So, I mean, yes, tactile sort of muscle palpations, that is a tool for you as a coach if it's appropriate, which I find in this setting it is.
Some people may not be able to understand just visually.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And not only that, like, it's a cold morning, and why do I'm always looking around like, who's got a tank top? I got a sweatshirt on, I'm standing around not doing shit. I'm not warm. Last thing I'm gonna do is peel off layers of clothes to show you how my scapulars are working. But I can look around and be like, oh, there's a tank top, watch, come here. And that's why I pick on Amanda sometimes, and other John that comes to the noon class. These humans that wear tank tops, and come here. Because I don't want to peel layers off the shoulder, right? And so if you're gonna give them visual, try to give them visual on something they can see. Verbal, great. And then tactile for me is always like, I'm gonna put some hands right in your mid-back, pinch that. Like, I want that shoulder blade there. Which is what? The bottom of my bench press. Pecs under stretch. Which is the contraction of the shoulder blades. And then the end of my ring row is the top of my bench press. Things like that.